Hey guys, I wanted to do a video about the IEM Taipei Qualifiers and sort of how that all went from my perspective. Before we get going, apologies for me looking tired. I just woke up, so just have to deal with that basically. Anyway, starting off, I got to sort of say I was very impressed by Alpha Sydney and how they played and that sort of thing. They showed I thought, a lot of mental fortitude to be able to come back and get those overtimes. They beat Immunity, in fact, which is kind of a big deal. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying that Immunity had a sub and it was online, but still, I mean, it's Immunity, and Alpha Sydney was far and away the team that you would never consider would have beaten Immunity. They were the 8th seed, so still kind of a big deal. They also took Chiefs to it was double or triple overtime or something crazy like that in the first map. Then they kind of got destroyed in the end, but still some quite impressive signs coming out for them. And I hope that we get to see them in Div 1 in CGPL next season, because I think they're an exciting prospect, especially if they stay together as a team. They keep working hard like they've obviously been doing, because they are starting to get some quite interesting results, and I think they can probably challenge for something like top 8, maybe even top 6. We'll have to see how it goes. Obviously, they came in 3rd and 4th at this event, so that was definitely punching above their weight, having come through all the way through the qualifiers and all that sort of thing. So yeah, very, very nice to see them pulling that off, and always good to start to see the Australian scene, I guess, close in terms of the difference or the distance between the top teams and the lower teams, and get closer and more competitive and that sort of thing. So it's good to see. So anyway, moving on to Legacy, I don't necessarily want to comment too much on them. I think they performed about where could be expected. I'd say they'd probably be disappointed with themselves getting 3rd and 4th. They would have wanted to challenge for that top spot, but that's just the way the cookie crumbled, and obviously they had that roster change, which wouldn't have made things much easier for them. On that topic, though, I think Topgun looked actually pretty good from what I saw. I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of the Legacy game, but what I did see was something like Topgun was top fragging, like almost double everyone else's score on Legacy, so I mean, you can read into that what you want, but yeah, he looked alright, and it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do. I don't expect him to stick around. I don't think it really makes sense, just from the way I guess, view him leaving Vox and then coming back to the scene. I just don't see it. I think he was just sort of jumping in here for a bit of fun and that sort of thing. But, I mean, we'll see what happens, I guess, and, well, who knows? He could do anything. I mean, he's one of those players where he doesn't necessarily have to play a lot to be good, and I guess that's been shown in this event as well. So anything could happen. It's going to be a crazy sort of week here, I guess, finding out all these sorts of things. Moving on, Box, I think, was probably the most disappointing. I mean, I don't necessarily say they're the most disappointing team to watch, but I think they would be the most disappointed with where their result was. 7th, 8th. Probably not at all where they were aiming. I'd say they consider themselves a top 4 team, but just for some reason it's not meshing at the moment. And I really want to see this team do well, because I think they have a lot of players in their lineup that are really, top tier players, but just for some reason nothing's working for them at the moment. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on that too much, because it's not a topic that I want to necessarily discuss. I think the main thing that everyone is really interested in is the fact that Chiefs are going over to Immunity to Taipei. So not a lot of people would have seen this coming, obviously. Pretty much everyone that I spoke to and everyone that made a prediction was basically saying that Immunity was going to win this with no problems at all, and well, it didn't happen at all. They had a lot of problems, and then obviously Chiefs, we know, are going overseas, and I'm a little bit conflicted about this, because on one hand, it's great to see another team going overseas, and I do like the guys from Chiefs. I think they're definitely a team that can come through from this experience and really learn from it and become a very good team and challenge for that top spot. But on the other hand, I really would have liked to see Immunity go overseas again, because I think that they have been going from strength to strength every time they've been going overseas, and yeah, to see them not going over again is a little disappointing. But Chiefs are going to be the 4th Australian team to go overseas, so hopefully they can do us proud. Obviously, Renegades are over there as well, or will be over there as well. So we're going to have 2 shots at getting into the major. So hopefully at least one of them makes it, so that we're going to have someone to cheer for. And then, of course, it's going to be good for the Chiefs lineup to get that sort of experience and all that sort of stuff as well. Pretty much every team, I think, that's come back from overseas has performed better than they did when they were performing before they went overseas, if you know what I mean. So definitely something that's going to be valuable for them as a team, and hopefully they're going to make good use of it. Moving on, I guess, a little bit to IEM, I think it's a little bit worrying to see them starting to lose these things like this. This is the second time that they've missed out on going overseas. Last time, obviously, Legacy went in front of them, and now this time, obviously, it's going to be Chiefs. So, I mean, I know a lot of people still consider them to be the top team in Australia, and I would probably have to agree with that, but you know, with them losing all of these tournaments like this, I think it's you know, you do have to start to question whether or not they deserve that position. So I think they need to come into CGPL and really put on a dominating performance if they want to keep that top spot. And actually, it's going to be interesting for me because, or for me to see the Peanut Gallery rankings today. I think it's going to come out because, yeah, whether or not they're going to be the top spot is, I guess, the main question on everyone's lips. I would still consider them number one in Australia, but those teams are certainly getting a lot closer and closer, so Immunity need to be a little bit worried, perhaps. Moving on to the jump throw script ban from ESL. And the only reason I bring this up is because it was brought out in the middle of this tournament, and it's a little bit a little bit interesting for me. I know the reason that it was banned is because the players sort of had a little bit of a discussion, or ESL reached out to the players or something like that. It was something to do with the professional players, and they voted that they didn't want to have it. But I kind of like the jump throws. I think it really does allow teams to, I guess, explore the map in different ways that wasn't necessarily available to them if they didn't have these jump throw scripts and that sort of thing. So I don't know. It might make the T side a little bit harder, obviously, to get some things smoked off, like I don't know, mid on Mirage. I'm not sure if people still use a jump throw script for that, but I know at one point the jump throw script was used to smoke window. So anyway, yeah, it's interesting. I don't necessarily like it. I think from a spectator point of view, it's better to have those jump throw scripts. You can get those crazy grenades coming out and that sort of thing, or the crazy smoke grenades rather coming out. But that's just the way it has to be, so I guess we'll deal with it. It shouldn't change the game too much, but yeah. Anyway, moving on to casting with the Peanuts. This will be the last point. It was pretty good. I got no complaints. I think we probably didn't cast that well on the Monday, but that was the first time we had ever cast together, and you know, there's always going to be issues. We spoke over each other a little bit, and we had some weird pauses and that sort of thing, but that's going to happen. On the Thursday, I think it was quite a lot better. I felt like we actually casted well together and that sort of thing, so that was good. I enjoyed it and all that sort of stuff. So shout outs to Peanuts for having me on. I enjoyed it, and I'll do it again if given the opportunity. The other thing I want to say is that we will be casting together in the future sometime. I can't necessarily say what that will be for just yet, but it should be good. It should be good for Australian Counter-Strike, and I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, that was sort of my thoughts for this weekend, or this week rather, in terms of the IEM Taipei, and then all the other sort of stuff that happened to do with that. So thanks for tuning in. Obviously, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that. It's @ElfishGuy. Subscribe to me on YouTube, and well, I'll see you next time. So thanks for watching.